What up, fam? It's your boy, Slenderboy 2024, streaming to you live. Coming at you with a little unorthodox PS5 Chronicles. This is kind of like a rushed out speed run PS5 Chronicles. I'll explain why in a minute, why I'm kind of doing it on this one. This is, like I said, it's a little out of the ordinary. I'm doing a game that hasn't even finished yet. It's actually still coming out, so to speak. So obviously I haven't finished playing the game yet, but it's something that I really feel strongly about and really wanted to talk to you about and make sure you know about this game. So I'll explain why in a minute. But yeah, that's why we're doing a PS5 Chronicles on this title. But before I begin, yeah, how's everyone doing? What are you guys doing? What's everyone playing these days? Check the chat. People are saying Silk Song, Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Battlefield 6, Battlefield 5. No. I'm just kidding. That guy wrote Battlefield 6. No, everyone's doing Battlefield 6. I guess that game, there was like a demo out, but I guess the game fully came out. The new Black Ops isn't out yet, right? So like they did a good job spacing that out. Anyway, whatever game you're playing right now, throw it out the window. This is what I want you to do. Pick it up in your hands and throw it out the window, because this is the only game you need to worry about, okay? There's a game called Dispatch that's out now, and this is the only game that matters. This is the only game that you should be playing or thinking about or worrying about. So Dispatch, like I said, it's out now. I was like the one-man campaign for this game. It's so odd to me that like this is kind of a big deal. This game has a lot of big names attached to it, but like there was zero hype, there was zero marketing, I saw nothing about this game. In fact, the way I discovered Dispatch, it's a funny story. I'm probably the only person that does this. I don't know anyone that, you tell me if you know anyone that does this like me, but when I'm curious about like games that are coming out this year, I kind of sift through. You know how on like Wikipedia you can search through like games that come out this year, like what games are coming out. You know, game releases of May 2025, stuff like that. So like I look a month ahead and I kind of look at all the big releases, like what's coming out next month, because otherwise I have like no idea. I don't know what's going on. And this one game coming out caught my eye. I was like, Dispatch. So I don't know what that is. I've heard nothing about it. So I clicked on it. I read a little bit about it. I'm like, oh my god, this game sounds amazing. Why is no one hyping this up? Like I'm kind of the one man hype machine for Dispatch. But yeah, what is Dispatch? So Dispatch. This might not mean anything to a lot of people, but for someone like me who is an old school Telltale Games fan going way back, this game means a hell of a lot to me, and I think it should mean a lot to you guys too. But you've probably heard of them. You've probably at least heard of this company. But they made games like legendary titles. Probably their best known title is Telltale's Walking Dead series, which is pretty good. It's actually not my favorite, believe it or not. I like a lot of their stuff. They did the Back to the Future official game, the Telltale Back to the Future game. That is, in my opinion, the best movie-based video game ever made. It is like the unproduced sequel that we never got. That's fire. A lot of their games are actually really good. The Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy game is severely underrated. My favorite game that they've made is actually Tales from the Borderlands. Their game that is set in the Borderlands universe. I really love that game, even though I haven't played much of the Borderlands series. Actually, let me take all of that back. I keep forgetting. Their best game is actually The Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us. Look up that game. It came out in like 2014 or so, and it was a fucking amazing game. Okay, and ever since that game came out, people have been we're still waiting. When is Wolf Among Us 2 happening? Is it happening? I keep hearing different information because Telltale Games kind of shut down. They kind of went bankrupt or something, so they stopped making games. But then they said, no, we're gonna do one last game. We're still gonna do Wolf Among Us 2. And so like last I heard, they were still gonna do Wolf Among Us 2, but they still haven't done it yet. Somebody let me know in the chat, like what's going on. Is that game ever gonna come out? But long story short, a lot of people have jumped ship. They have jumped from the sinking ship that is Telltale Games, and they formed a new company called Adhoc Studios. And this is the first game by Adhoc Studios. So this is why this is such a big deal, because a lot of the people who worked on those legendary Telltale Games titles, like Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, and Tales from the Borderlands, and so on, are the writers. They're the team that are working on Dispatch. And it is a similar narrative-driven, episodic game, choice-driven game. And man, booting this up, playing this game where your choices matter, you know, you choose something from a dialogue tree and then it says, you know, so-and-so will remember that. Oh, it brought back so many good feelings. I got that rush of dopamine. So if you are a Telltale Games fan like myself, you have to play Dispatch. Even if you're not, I think this will be a good introduction to people to the Telltale model, because it's a superhero game. So it's most people love superheroes at this point. Superhero media is everywhere. So I think people will be able to latch onto this quickly. One disclaimer I want to give real quick is, how do I put this? I mean, okay, there's a couple things I want to talk about, because again, if this is your first Telltale game, you're going to be really kind of disoriented. But yeah, this game, to be clear, I know at this point a lot of people, like, when you hear superhero media, a lot of us are burnt out on superhero movies at this point anyway, but like, you hear superhero, you think of like, what do you think of? You think of the Marvel movies, stuff like that. This is not that. So when you think about Dispatch and like, oh, it's a superhero game, I want you to think more of we've kind of gotten to this point, right, where we've kind of told everyone, like, hey, we're adults, like, we still want our superhero action, but we want some more mature content. We want stuff like the Peacemaker TV show, right? We want stuff like Invincible on Amazon Prime. We want The Boys on Amazon Prime. Like, that's that tier of content, that level of content that Dispatch is at, okay? You know how I would say you wouldn't watch The Boys with your family? You don't want to play this game with your family. I mean, true. I mean, there's a lot of gameplay that you could play in front of like your mom and dad, but like, trust me. I've already heard about. I think episode 3 and 4 just dropped, so like I haven't gotten to those just yet. I'm mainly reviewing episode 1 and 2 here, just because I want people to know about the game and get the word out on this game. But I've already heard about, like, episode 4 starts with a pretty graphic sex scene with Invisigirl, so it's like, just bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. This is an M for mature rated superhero game. Just bear that in mind. You know, don't play this in mixed company. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, some people might be turned off by the model. Let me explain here. So Telltale always did episodic releases, and they're doing the same thing with Dispatch. And I was trying to explain it to my friend, and he was kind of like perplexed. He's like, so wait, do I like buy each episode? Like, no, like, you buy the game, so you pay the money, you know. In this case, I was worried it would be $60. Everything is like $60, $70. Like, you know, that would, you know, no. Don't worry about that. The basic model is $30. Or you can get the digital deluxe edition, which is $40. So you pay $10 more. I think it's worth it. I think the deluxe edition is worth it, and I bought it because I wanted to support this release. I really want this game to blow up. I really want this game to get some traction and start trending. And I wanted to support their first game. But no, I genuinely do think it's worth the content that you get with the deluxe version. I think it's worth the $10, and even the deluxe version is still cheaper than most games these days. It's $40 as opposed to $60, $70, $80 games on the Nintendo Switch 2. But we can go into that in a minute, like what the difference is. But yeah, I was trying to explain to my friend, you pay the fee up front, and then you don't have access to everything. You have access to episode 1 and 2. Then you wait a week later. So let's say they released on a Wednesday night, episode 1 and 2. So then the next week you would check in again, and then you see episode 3 and 4 are available, and so on and so forth. There are 8 episodes total. And I know a lot of people aren't used to this model. A lot of people aren't used to like the TV model. This is very much like an interactive superhero TV show. It really is. That's like kind of the goal. And that's why, for me, it makes perfect sense to have that Telltale model where you have to tune in, so to speak, every week. So, and I like that. I mean, it gives you time to digest what's happened. I don't really like this modern, like, binge culture where, you know, I mean, I guess it's for convenience sake. It's nice where, like, oh, the latest season of Stranger Things dropped. I can just watch it all in one night. I can binge it all. But, like, that doesn't really give you time to digest the smaller moments, to digest, like, one episode at a time. I mean, I remember what back when Walking Dead was big, people would, like, talk about, like, hey, did you catch last week's episode? We would discuss it, like, episode by episode. And so all those, like, tiny little twists and moments had much more meaning, because we'd be so focused on episode by episode what was going on. I miss those days. I really do. I don't really like this whole binge model now where it's like, oh, here's the whole season, bleh, and then it's like, okay, you can discuss like season 2 of something with someone, but then it's like, oh, like when did this happen, at the beginning or the end of the season? Like, what episode did this happen? It's like a lot of it gets lost in the weeds. And so I feel like the same thing would happen with Dispatch, where if they released it all at once in one night, people would just blast through it. It's not a long game. Like, each episode is roughly, let's say, an hour. So let's just say it's like an 8-hour long game. And some people would be turned off by that. Like, oh, well, it's not worth the money I'm paying. Well, listen, buddy, the whole point is that there are different paths, different choices, different endings. You're supposed to replay the game, okay? And I know for some people that might be like a weird concept, but it's like, yeah, it's worth it to replay these games. I love replaying Telltale games, or at least looking up what the different endings are, seeing what different choices, what different consequences there are. My main concern is I hope that the choices do matter. That was kind of the big criticism back in the day with Telltale games, and that's why some of these games started to fall off, where, for example, Telltale Batman, a lot of your choices in the end didn't really matter. Harvey Dent still becomes Two-Face. It doesn't really matter what you do. Spoilers, It's like, so things like that kind of started to annoy people, where they started to feel like their choices didn't actually matter, when that was kind of the whole point, supposedly. So hopefully they don't repeat that mistake. I've only played episode 1 and 2 out of 8, but I can tell you what I've played so far. I absolutely fucking love this game. I absolutely love this game. This game is on track to be my game of the year 2025. It really is. I realize I still haven't really told you the premise, and this is where, so my one friend I was talking to, he didn't really like the model, and then I really think I lost him when I explained what the game was about. So this is you, Robbie Robertson. You are the main character. You are played by Aaron Paul, Jesse from Breaking Bad. Ringing any bells? Yeah, he's the main character. He's awesome. Aaron Paul is awesome. I never see him in anything, so this is kind of a big deal just for that alone. He has like the coolest voice in the world, Jesse's voice. So it's weird to me that I think this is his first time voice acting, and he does a phenomenal job as Robbie Robertson, aka Mecha Man. I wish he would do more voice acting, and hopefully he will after this. But you play Robbie Robertson, aka Mecha Man. Just think Iron Man. Like, he has like a mobile suit that he gets into, and flies around like Iron Man. But here's the thing. So he has no powers of his own. So in the opening cutscene in episode 1, you are a superhero, but you fight this villain named Shroud, and he is shrouded in mystery, if you will. But yeah, you get your ass handed to you, and your suit is basically destroyed. And since you have no powers of your own, and your suit is destroyed, and your power source is either destroyed or stolen, you can't repair the suit. So you're no longer Mecha Man. I mean, you don't have the mecha part anymore. You're just Rob. So like, what the hell are you gonna do? You're not like Batman, where you have like billions of dollars and like, oh no, Joker blew up the Batmobile. All right, I'll just buy another one. Like, no, like you're kind of screwed. Like you're done. And so he's kind of lost. He's kind of adrift for a little while. Like, what do I do now? And that's when a superhero named Blonde Blazer, she finds him, and she kind of takes him in, and she's like, all right, so we have, there's this organization, SDN, something like that. Basically, I want you to think of like the Suicide Squad. It's kind of like that, where there's like this government organization, and they take characters that are either ex-heroes or ex-villains, and they try to reform them. They send them out on missions, like they get distress calls, and they send them out in the field as like a team or whatever to solve people's problems or stop supervillains, that type of thing. And it's like working towards them reforming and becoming heroes in their own right. It's so funny where like sometimes you see an idea executed poorly in one medium, and then you see it executed so much better, and then you're like, oh, this wasn't a bad idea after all. It was just done poorly. You know what I mean? Like, has it ever happened to you before? This like jarring experience. So like, think of like the first Suicide Squad movie, where like I used to think the Suicide Squad was like a stupid idea, but like after watching that movie, but like seeing Dispatch, I'm like, no, it's not a bad idea at all. It's just you need good writing, you need good characters, you need good dialogue, you need good twists and turns, you need a good plot. You need good execution, but like, no, like the Suicide Squad is not a bad idea at all. And the way they do it in this game, I think, is a lot better, actually, where instead of like, in Suicide Squad, it's just so over the top. They have like the battle royale callers, and it's like, you gotta do what I say or I'll blow your fucking head off. It's just like, it's a little too extreme. Dispatch is more like subtle about it, but it's like, yeah, like these are ex-villains, and they are trying to do better, and they're going on missions and shit. And once again, you play as Robbie Robertson, so you don't play as the heroes. You are basically working at a glorified call center booth, and you're like manning the computer, and you're kind of sending them out into the field and like choosing who goes where, that type of thing. Because the deal is, if you do this, if you work with the Suicide Squad, and you do like, and you're, by the way, you're working with like the bottom of the barrel. You're working with like the Z team. That's literally what they call them. If you can get them in line, if you can get them to rise up the ranks, then SDN will pay you back. They will use their resources and money to fix your suit so you can be Mecha Man again. So it's a win-win for Robbie, supposedly. And in the meantime, he finally has like some purpose. He finds a new way to fight crime and help people, which is what he really wanted to do since he was totally impotent without his suit. Anyway, so yeah, I'm explaining it to my friend. He's like, oh, so you don't play as the heroes, you play as the guy in the call center, and you're just like kind of giving them orders. I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, you know. And he's just like, yawn. That sounds boring. I'm like, no, it's not boring. I swear, it's not boring. It's really not boring. Like, you know, it's filled with like funny, interesting dialogue, great characters, like, you know, really high stakes choices that you have to make. People will live or die based on your choices. You know, it's really thrilling stuff. I know it. Again, it's all in the execution. This could be boring. This could be a totally boring game. Oh, you work at a desk job and like that's the game. No, I mean, yeah, it is more of a. When I was playing it, honestly, I would compare this to. I was actually thinking of Five Nights at Freddy's. If you've ever seen someone play it, like again, remove the horror element. Like again, this is more of a superhero game, but like just the gameplay. Like you're in a booth, right? Like what are you doing? You're in a booth. You're like multitasking. You're like looking at all these cameras and shit, and it's really nerve-wracking. It's really tense. That's what this game is. When you're in the call center booth, you have to manage, you know, multiple heroes and multiple missions at a time, and you're always getting new calls in. And it is a resource management type of game where everyone's on like a cooldown timer, and basically you really can't save everyone. You can't, you know, you have to prioritize. Like you'll get, and you never know, like your missions will be all over the place. You might have a mission where it's like, oh, you know, the entire like city block's on fucking fire, help. Or you might have a mission where this woman is like, oh, my cat's stuck in a tree, like help me get it down. You know, like you have to prioritize. Like, oh, well, which do I solve first? You know what I mean? One mission's a little more pressing than the other, I think. But yeah, like. Again, it's just starting out. You're just kind of meeting the team and getting used to them. But I'm already in love with it, and I'm already like kind of thinking of strategies and like, you know, it's an RPG. Like when you do well, you level up characters. You have to allocate different points to like strength, intelligence, you know, durability. Like shit. Like, yeah, no, it's an RPG. It really is. I love it. And actually, one thing that I really love about the game that I wasn't expecting is. There are missions, so like the whole thing is like you have to choose the correct character to dispatch. Okay, so for example, let's say there's a mission where you know, whatever, like this thief stole this painting and you need to put it back in the museum without anyone noticing you. Who are you gonna send? Well, I have a girl on my team named Invisigirl, and her power is that she turns invisible. Maybe she'd be good at a stealth segment like that, you know. So like you choose like the right hero for the job. But what's really interesting is there's actually a hacking minigame. So sometimes Robbie is actually the right guy for the job. So, for example, Invisigirl is going to go on that mission, but oh no, like the security cameras are going to, you know, have like infrared. They're going to, you know, they're going to see her. So Robbie says, oh, well, if I hack those cameras and turn them off, then she can put the painting back. So then it goes to like this crazy like hacking mini game that's actually really fun. I know, again, like I'm describing it, you might be rolling your eyes at saying that's boring. No, hacking is actually a really fun mini game in this game. But what I love about it is you feel that like, because you get all of Robbie's, you know, thoughts and monologue, and like, so this is like a way for him to help. This is a way where he can still fight crime in his own way, even though he doesn't have powers anymore. He still has his like tech knowledge, you know what I mean? So like he really is like more involved as a member of the team than I expected him to be. So sometimes he's the right choice for the job, you know what I mean? I love that. What else? Yeah, like, how do I put this? It is a mature game. There are mature jokes, like, it gets really violent, and there's, like, some sex stuff, but, like, for me, it never crosses that line. So, and people might disagree with me on this, but, for example, The Boys, I liked The Boys at first, but I got to a point where I stopped watching. For me, it got to a point where it crossed that line, where it became more graphic and edgy just for the sake of it. You know, when we're talking about, like, you know, superhero orgies or people exploding out of other people's dicks or whatever, you know, like stuff like that, where it's like, okay, like that's too much. Like, obviously they're doing we're not your Kid Brothers Marvel thing, but for me that crosses the line. Dispatch, it never goes too far, in my opinion, at least not yet, where it's like, I mean, it is raunchy, it is a mature rated game, but it never tries too hard, if you know what I mean. Like, it is a mature rated game. It's not a Marvel movie, but it doesn't go too far in the other direction either. which is exactly what I wanted. And I think it's what a lot of people want these days. I can see, because you see the popularity of mature-rated superhero stuff like Peacemaker or whatever. People want that now. People want that now. We're all adults. Like, don't give us the kiddie stuff anymore. We're ready for something else. Yeah, I mean, and again, some people might not like this, but like when I play these games, I get really invested in the relationships and everything. There's already like a love triangle kind of brewing between Robbie and there's the one main girl, Blonde Blazer, who like inducts him into the superhero stuff, and so she maybe likes him and he maybe likes her. But then there's the punk girl, like the bottom of the barrel, the worst of the worst, Invisigirl, and she kind of maybe likes Robbie and he maybe kind of likes her. It's like there's like a little love triangle there, and I love it. So, I mean, there's a reason you want my favorite character, here she is, Invisigirl. So she's a reformed villain. She used to go by the name Invisibitch, and she's played by the legendary, lovely Laura Bailey, the best voice actress on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. Laura Bailey, I mean, the only people on her level are maybe Monica Rial, Ashley Birch, maybe. But yeah, Laura Bailey is the best. I've been a big fan of her since Blue Gender, the first anime she did a voice for. But yeah, she's legendary. Getting her was a huge get. Honestly, yeah, let's talk about the voice cast before I get back to why I'm a huge simp for Invisigirl. I am a huge simp for Invisigirl. I think a lot of people are going to be after they play this game, especially after they watch episode 4. And anyway, the voice cast is huge. The voice cast is insane. So let's go again. That's why it's crazy to me that more people aren't talking about this. Why this game isn't blowing up more. But as I said, our main guy Robbie is played by none other than Aaron Paul, Jesse from Breaking Bad. So there you go. That's a huge selling point. But Critical Role fans, listen up. Critical Role fans, obviously Laura Bailey is playing Invisigirl, so that's the main get. But Critical Role itself, like they're a producer. Like when you boot up the game, you see the credits. It says Adhoc Studios, Critical Role. They are like in a partnership or something. A lot of Critical Role people are in this game, such as Travis Willingham, Matt Mercer, so on. Like a lot of people. Sam Riegel, I think, is in this game as well, somewhere. I forget who voices whom, but yeah, and they're in a partnership. And from what I read is Adhoc. This is their first game, but their next game, Adhoc Studios is planning to do a similar game, but set in the Critical Role universe, which would be really fucking cool. I really hope they get to make that game. That's why I want this game to do well. If it makes money, then Adhoc can do more projects. If it doesn't make money, then they're going to fall by the wayside the same way that Telltale Games did, when they just started crapping out Minecraft story mode sequels or Batman Telltale sequels or Walking Dead Season 17 instead of making Wolf Among Us 2 like we all want since 2014, goddammit. Where's my Wolf Among Us 2, goddammit? The people have left the studio by now. Like, you can't do it. You can't even do it anymore. You can't even. Yeah. By the way, I love this logo. I'm sorry. I'm OCD. I'm all over the place. I love this logo with the A and Dispatches, like the superhero cape. I love it. I love everything about this game. I'm not kidding. This might be like my top game of 2025. Continuing on with the voice cast, though. So, Critical Role fans, watch this game, play this game, whatever you gotta do, play this fucking game. Who else is in this game? So, a rapper named Young Gravy. Have you guys heard of this guy? I'd never heard of this guy before, but he plays the Golem character who's named Golem. He has a really cool voice though. He's like yeah, I can't do it. Yeah. I can't do it. He has a really cool voice. But yeah, he's really cool. I looked him up. Some of his songs are pretty catchy. Look him up. But yeah, he's in the game. A lot of odd choices, but like this is like a crazy menagerie of different voices, but I love it. The character Sonar, the Bat Demon guy, he's played by none other than my boy Moist Critical, Charlie White. So yeah, he's in the game. The character Punch Up, the Irish character, he is played by another YouTuber known as Jacksepticeye. So yeah, Jack's in the game. In fact, Jack is streaming the game. That's how I watched it. Before playing it, I actually watched Jacksepticeye play. I recommend at least watching his Let's Play. If you don't buy the game, I recommend buying the game. His character is great. He's great in the game as well. Who else? Whatchamacallit? Oh, the one character I really like, this like demon girl, Malevola. She is played by a video game journalist named Alana Pierce. Look her up. She's really cool too. I'm like learning about all these people that are in this game. It's awesome. We have quite the team here, but I can't wait to see where it goes. If I were to make a prediction now, I'm only on episode 2. Oh yeah, I'm sipping really hard for for Invisigirl, by the way. But yeah, so every character has like a flaw related to their power that makes it interesting. So Invisigirl, her whole thing is she can turn invisible as long as she holds her breath. So her power is limited. What's more, she is asthmatic and she also smokes. So she is severely limited with her power. But it's great. I love characters with flaws like that. And she's just all over the place. Like, she's vulgar as hell, more vulgar than like Hit Girl from Kick-Ass. The dialogue that comes out of her mouth is shocking, but it's funny. It's really, really funny. She's the first one to make like the dirty joke in the room. You know what I mean? But yeah, your choices always matter. I'll give you a freebie. So this is a good example of like the good writing. So there's a mission where she goes in by herself, right? And she's fighting this guy who's like shooting out these like electric blasts at her. And right beforehand, the guy shot the hostage in the donut shop. So you have two choices. He's about to shoot Invisigirl, and you can say, "Okay, Invisigirl, duck," or you can tell her to turn invisible. I told her to duck. You want to know why? Because when the hostage was shot, his blood actually splattered on Invisigirl. And I had a feeling that if she turned invisible, the bloodstains would stay on her, and so she actually would still remain visible. You know what I mean? And I was right. So you always have to think about the choices you make really hard like that. And I love that. I love that. That's what I love about these games. Again, I don't want to say too much because I really want you to play this game. All I'll say beyond that is the difference between the regular edition and the digital deluxe. So once again, paying the $10, I say do it because you get a digital art book, and you also get access to these 4 digital comics. So what's interesting about that too is in order to avoid spoilers, the contents unlock as you progress. So like, even though I bought them and I have the digital deluxe, I have access to some of the art book and I have access to some of the comics, but they unlock more as you beat more episodes. You know what I mean? So the art book is great, and the comics, they provide like little backstory, little prologue stories before this first episode, and I love it. So for example, right now I can read comic 1 and 2 because I've beaten episodes 1 and 2. So I can read Waterboy's story. I can read about like his little adventure that he had before running into Robbie at the SDN Center, and I can also read a story about Sonar and Malevola and how they're basically roommates, and they go on like this night of debauchery before they decide. It's like their last night as villains before they decide, okay, we're going to join SDF and we're going to become heroes, but like, let's have one last night of debauchery. And that's an important comic because it establishes, Sonar, and what's really important about this game is you need to understand that certain characters have better, synergy. I think the game calls it synergy, better relationships with others, and so they like to work more with other people. I can't say why, but it's really important for you to know, for example, that Sonar and Malevola are besties. They really are good friends. So, maybe it would be a good choice to have them work together. That type of thing. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah. Please support this game any way you can. Like I said, Jacksepticeye is streaming it. It was weird to me that Moist Critical, the other big YouTuber involved, I follow him regularly, and he has not said a fucking word about Dispatch. I think he, finally posted a video about it after episode 4 dropped, but, he did no, marketing leading up to the game. The first week where the episode 1 and 2 were out, he said nothing about the game. It's weird. It's like a new marketing strategy where you don't tell anyone about the game you're in. You don't tell anyone about it at all. You don't do any marketing. So I'm doing all the marketing. I'm doing the marketing right now. Buy this game. It's my pick for best game 2025. I recommend the digital deluxe. I do. It's only $10 more. I think the art book is sweet. I think the comics actually do provide some necessary backstory. Not necessary, but some significant backstory, some worthwhile backstory for some of the characters. They're fun. They're great. Or if you can't afford it, if you're a broke boy, that's fine. Get the $30 normal edition. Or if you can't do that either, if you are a truly broke boy, go on Jacksepticeye's YouTube channel, watch him play it, and then that's what I'm kind of doing. I'm doing like a double thing where, because I want to see all of the choices, so I'll watch him play it, and then when I play it, I'll just do the opposite choice, just to see what happens in that scenario, because I want to see all the different outcomes, Yeah, I'm just worried about So again, going back to TV, like streaming and everything, and binge watching, what do people always say when there is like an episodic release? They're gonna say like when say Stranger Things does like season 4 part 1, and then later they'll season 4 part 2 and part 3. So a lot of people say, oh well, it's not all out yet, I'm just gonna wait until it all comes out and then I'll binge it all in one night, right? And so that's what a lot of people do, and I'm worried I'm really worried that's what's gonna happen with Dispatch. I'm worried that the people that would possibly play the game aren't playing it right now because they're waiting for episode 8 to drop, and then they're going to play it all in one night and kind of miss out on the experience. So that's a problem, because these shows and games live or die by their view count, by their views. And so when nobody watches Stranger Things season 4 part 1 opening weekend, then people think that, oh, well, people aren't watching our show. But they are. They're planning to. They're planning to watch it when it's all out. But the producers don't know that. All they see are the numbers from opening weekend. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with this game. Maybe everyone is planning to play this game in late November when episode 8 drops, and they're going to binge it all in one night. But the people making this game don't know that. They only see the numbers opening weekend. They see, oh, well, nobody has downloaded this game. And maybe it's because only episode 1 and 2 are out, and people are waiting for more episodes to drop. But regardless, this game lives or dies by people downloading it week 1. We need to buy this game up front. We need to play episode 1 and 2 as soon as they drop, and that's the only way to send this message to Adhoc that, like, yes, please keep these games alive. Please keep Telltale Model alive. We want more of these games. I've rambled long enough. Please play Dispatch.